Hi there, this is Josh from Literary Gladiators, and today I'm here with a book haul. Uh, to be honest with you, 2025 hasn't really been a big year for me when it came to book shopping. Because I have so many books, I have to be a bit more selective as far as what I'm reading is concerned. And a lot of my reading has been going toward discussions on Literary Gladiators, and discussions that I've been having with other book clubs. I am actively part of two of them right now. There's the Monthly Mom with Millennials that meets once a month, and then Bookmarked. They have three book clubs. They are a bookstore in Whiting, and they meet every other week. I don't go to all of these book clubs. I am a little bit more selective with which ones I choose to attend, but I'm still versatile, and I'm willing to dip into things that interest me in the slightest, and I'm also willing to give things an attempt. But this book haul is all of the books that I bought from Bookmarked in 2025. And we're going to start with the books that did not pertain to any of their book clubs. And that includes the books in the Raj Quartet. This is a quartet of 4 novels that are set in British-occupied India. This caught my attention while I was there, and I wanted to add it to my collection. And I also got the Alaska Heritage Seafood Cookbook. One of these days I would like to try my hand at cooking seafood, and this would be a good thing to refer to. And it is sorted by all different kinds of fish that one can catch off the Alaskan coast. Now we're going to move on to all of the book club selections from my very first meeting with them this past July and going up to February of 2026. I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing a lot more for a little bit after that, because after that we're planning to film our 19th season. And my concentration is going to have to shift to the reading material for that. But the first 4 the first 4 we've already gone over, and then I have 5 more that I'll be going over with the club in the weeks and months to come. But for my very first meeting, we went over So Thirsty by Rachel Harrison. And I thought that this was mediocre. I think that this is one of them that looked appealing. The whole idea that these 2 best friends, Sloane and Naomi, they have a birthday celebration out, and during this celebration they end up getting into a vampire orgy and become vampires. But I heard a lot of potentially positive things about Rachel Harrison and the other books that she's written, and it seemed like Sloane was a very complex character. She was insecure about her thoughts, but she seemed to be real. However, I didn't like the direction that this book took. I thought that Naomi was a terrible best friend, always getting her into trouble, always very reckless. And she acknowledges it, but she constantly refers back to how wonderful their times were back in high school, or when they were younger. And then this the group of vampires that they come across that pretty much are the reason that they transition to where they are, and are meant to serve some kind of purpose into the piece. I didn't really care for them so much. I think that they were very one-dimensional. and I thought that this was a disappointing read. I gave it 2.5 stars out of 5. In October, we read We Shall Be Monsters by Alyssa Wees, which has to do with a girl named Gemma who is told by her mother Virginia not to go into the woods, but yet she does it anyway. And it's told from both Gemma and Virginia's perspectives, because they both had very similar experiences and led to very life-altering results. I really didn't like the cold and distant demeanor that the characters had with one another, and that it felt so much to the point that it left the characters very wooden. And it just felt like this book was trying to get you somewhere, but it just didn't get you there. I gave this 2.5 stars out of 5, and I think that it was interesting that Alyssa Wees used to write about her Beanie Babies. I think that I would have preferred to read a story about her and her Beanie Babies instead of this. For the mystery thriller book club, which is incredibly popular, to the point that now they're going to be adding a second date, I read Blood and Treasure by Ryan Pote. And this has to do with a treasure hunter named Ethan Kane, who is exploring the African coast, around the area of the Indian Ocean, and he discovers somebody who fell from the sky. We imagine that it was from space, and it leads into this huge story, expedition, and adventure. And I think that that was the strongest part of this book, is that it was a thrilling adventure, and I was curious to see what was going to happen next. The struggle was with the characters. They were not very well developed or fleshed out. And at the end of the day, I gave this 3.5 stars out of 5. And then last month, we read The Busybody Book Club by Freya Sampson. This was for the Cozy Book Club. And out of the 4 books thus far, this ended up being my favorite one. And it has to do with a woman named Nova who oversees things at the community center and has started a book club with a wide variety of very interesting people. And these characters were very well fleshed out. They were very real and authentic. And I was also thinking about this and was curious to see what was going to happen next. I think that there were some things in here that were a bit frivolous, and I wish that with the epilogue it was a bit more, that it covered a lot more ground. I'm not going to give too many details, because I think that this does play like because this is a cozy mystery, which the thinking aspect of it really makes things intriguing. But I'm glad that I came across this book, and sometimes a nice cozy mystery is just what you need. And I gave this 4 stars out of 5. The next one that I'm going to be reading is The Teller of Small Fortunes by Julie Leong. I just thought that the concept looked quite interesting. This is part of the Cozy book club, and it's in the fantasy genre, so it's a cozy fantasy. And then in January, to kick off the year, it's going to be a double header. This is The Magician of Tiger Castle by Louis Sachar, which I reread wholes this year. I read it for the first time in 2018, reread it this year. First time I thought it was great, and I actually bumped it down a half star from 5 to 4.5 because I didn't think it was as great. But this is his first adult novel. I'll be very curious to see the direction that he takes. And it's signed, too, which is quite interesting. And we're also going over Alchemized, so I'm probably going to be doing a lot of reading leading up to the new year. I'm currently reading things for myself. Hopefully I can make my way through a good portion of them, because I'm going to have 3 books that need to be finished within a month. And I'm optimistic that I can do my very best at getting to where I want to be. And in February, we're going to be reading I, Medusa by Ayana Gray. This is part of the fantasy book club. This just looked appealing. I don't know much about it, but I don't know much about a lot of them as I hop in. And I think that that's the interesting part of taking part in these book clubs, is that you dip into more of what you're not as familiar with, or just having the opportunity to read something, having a reason as to why you need to read it. And then for the mystery thriller book club in February, it's They Fear Not Men in the Woods by Gretchen McNeil. And this will probably be the last one that I read for a little bit. I have not signed up for any of the March club meetings, and it's not part of my plan to take part in them in the month of March. It will give me time to prepare for Literary Gladiator Season 19. But if they have books that really catch my interest, then I'm going to be. I would like to take part in them. I just want to engage in a more disciplined regimen to read more and scroll less, with the exception of watching booktube videos, because I do want to watch more videos from other booktubers. There's probably going to be a day where I just watch as many booktube videos as possible. This is what I got from Bookmarked in 2025. I want to thank you for tuning into this video. I hope you check out some more videos from our channel. And for now, keep reading.